Well, good morning.
Hi, sweetie.
Good morning. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Let's see how deep I'm willing to go.
Good morning, Toledo. We're right here at the center of the universe, and the Coast Guard's even found us this morning.
Yeah.
But it would not be a wonderful day unless, in fact, we had the mayor and the member of our organization welcome us here, Mr. Ralph Gutzbacher. Give him a big hand. Yay. Like the nice smooth pattern over the railroad tracks?
Oh yeah! Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Ralph.
He got him finally.
Did he bring the sunshine?
He did sunshine today.
No.
Ralph.
Good morning. One of the things that you should look at in your program is the background of how the flagpole got here. And I'm going to skip that part.
No!
Oh, yes.
Introduce him.
You can read.
No, introduce him.
No, well, that comes later. Today is actually a fairly historic day in history. It's the 200th anniversary of the Star-Spangled Banner. In Maryland, where I used to live, yesterday, the 12th of September, is called Defenders Day because that's the day that the fort was bombarded and the defenders held out against the British bombardment. When I worked in Maryland, I had an office that overlooked the grave of a man named Beans, Dr. Beans, and he was the man that Francis Scott Key went to get back from the British. So this is a big deal day in the history of the United States, a big deal day, and actually, well, notwithstanding the Battle of Bladensburg, which got ran over and got the Capitol burned earlier. This was the day that the Americans turned back the British in Baltimore. So this was the high water mark of the British invasion during the War of 1812. So this is a big day, and it's fitting that we do this on this day. So now that you've had your history lesson, I would like to welcome you to Toledo. Those of you who aren't, how many people are not from Toledo who are here today? Well, thank you for coming. Alan, you're from Toledo. So I'd like to welcome you all to Toledo, and the Chamber of Commerce pitch is here that between Mother's Day and Labor Day, if you can't find something to do in Toledo on the weekend, you are just not trying. So I want you to come back and visit. I want you to come back and live here, get out and do some of these things that go on in the community. But that's it for me now. Welcome to Toledo. Thank you.
Thank you.
A lady who has an interest in rail and also the community, Deacon Paul Morrison, a couple of words.
I'm actually going to start with a quote from Henry Ward Beecher. A helping word to one in trouble is like a switch in a railroad track, an inch between wreck and smooth rolling prosperity. So when you say a kind word to someone, remember that you're like that switch in the railroad track. Let us pray. Blessed are you, O God, great spirit of imagination and inspiration, for gifting mankind with the genius to invent means of transportation which make travel enjoyable rather than burdensome. Thank you for all who were involved with the invention of trains, the iron horses which ease the labor of mankind. We are grateful to those whose contributions streamlined their efficiency and capabilities. Today we dedicate this flagpole, the flag, and the memorial plaque to railroad workers and to all who serve and have served their country. May these symbols always remind us of their valor and dedication in providing for our well-being and prosperity. Thank you, O God, for the freedom we enjoy in these United States, and thank you for this country. May your blessing indeed be upon America, today and always, even as you blessed her at Fort McHenry 200 years ago. Bless also the volunteers, board members, staff, and all whose hands serve in the care of the Yaquina Pacific Railroad Museum. May the work of their hands bring joy and pleasure to all who visit this place. Amen.
It's really high, isn't it?
The high post. Now I forgot how big it's supposed to be.
May God, the Great Spirit, bring peace and prosperity to this place, to all of Toledo, and to our country.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. America, my home.
For those of you who are able to stand, would you please rise for the presentation of the colors? U.S. Coast Guard Station Newport, and the two gentlemen bringing our flag to us this morning, Jesse Ty, bosun's mate, 3rd class, and Calvin Grant, machine technician, 3rd class.
Halt. Right, please.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet
of applause for U.S. Coast Guard. We have a number of people that we'd like to acknowledge this morning that got this pole here. The story is a rather lengthy one, and my brother Bill called me a couple of times and said, you need that pole in your yard. Well, needless to say, it's 30-some feet long. You don't throw it on the top of your Volkswagen and bring it up. It came, it was painted all white in Marlin caps. Were you here this morning, Marlon? I don't see Marlon. You may have had to go out of town. Marlon got it all shined up and varnished it, and that began the process. Halfway through trying to decide between February of 2011 and today, was a number of discussions about where it ought to be on the grounds. And there was a lot of discussion and decision making. Finally, it ended up in the location. And then how could you mount it? How was it mounted before? And then we got some other people involved. So one of the gentlemen, Mark Siebert down there, retired fireman from the south, came up here and built a house, and he began the drawing. He took hours and hours of sketching out this design. No, truthfully, it was on the back of a paper napkin. It said it's going to look kind of like a wedding cake, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, but in fact, that's what he designed. And then they found the metal. Richard Cullison back here in the back, Richard, who's been working on our engine and lots of metal for years, found us the 5-inch channel iron. It had been hooked up before with 2 forklift tongues. We couldn't find forklift tongues. So it goes down in the ground another 4 or 5 feet below what you see it. It came all. Then I'd given him such great specifications, I found out that in fact, one thing was wrong, is that he made it exactly what I told him, and our wood was a little larger. So then we had to shave off some of the bottom of that to do that. He also wanted to make sure that it didn't touch the top of the concrete, so that the water coming down wouldn't pool on the bottom and do that. Then we had an issue of what are we going to do? We're going to mix this by hand, and my good friend here, Mark, is piped on. James Spang is out here on a camera as we speak, but they stepped forward. Stand up with you too, come on. So they had a lot of fun. They were building a ramp for their dad's place because he'd had a recent surgery and had to have a wheelchair. So I said, what if we combine the load? And we did. And they came down there and designed it. Now the perfect elliptical design, perfect circle, was created by the fact that we were still trying to put it together at the last minute when the truck arrived. And then he said he didn't have enough. Mark said, I think you'll need to find enough because we only had the bottom part filled and the rest of it. Mark had actually made a connection up here with pipe. We should have left it here, Mark. It's kind of interesting. And then you could take the connectors off and it would open up to do that. Let's see, who else was involved in the process? There were several of us from time on to try to get this thing up and get it done. So now it's here.
Forgive me, I started all this.
Yeah, several times the group was saying, whose idea was this anyway? You didn't bring it all up here. His neighbor Virgil was the guy that removed it from the Frontier Valley
Frontier Village Amusement Park.
Right. And believe it or not, yesterday morning there was a gentleman standing here and he said, is that the pole that used to be in Frontier Village? And I said, yes. Come to find out, he had actually played at that amusement park in the San Jose area and would go over there, and he says he's glad to see it here. So we have a little token of our awareness, which is actually going to go on there. Would you like to read that to the folks?
It says, dedicated to railroaders. I may get choked up. Those who serve their country, past and present, by William D. Chandler. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty emotional about this. And I'm emotional because Virgil was such a guy that he brought that home on the top of a pickup truck
Oh, jeez.
Yes, and it hung out. Then it laid alongside his house for many years, and then Virgil finally passed away with cancer. So one day I went over and asked his wife Hazel, "What are you going to do with that flagpole?" She said, "You can do whatever you want with it, Bill. I just want it out of here." So I took it out. By that time I had joined the San Jose Horseshoe Club. So I donated it to the Horseshoe Club. They took it down
See what's
there.
on the top?
Yeah, the horseshoe.
That's good luck.
So they took and then my son dropped it off, and in 2 weeks they had it up flying. It was painted white and beautiful. And so then there was a time in the city of San Jose, they threw us out of that area, the Horseshoe Club, and what they wanted to build was an 18-hole golf course. So they threw us out, and then they tore the whole thing down, and this was laying down on the ground, and I went down to retrieve it. And my son-in-law went down and picked it up, and then I had it along the house for many years, and I said, well, they need a flagpole. So we made arrangements to have it hauled up here, so I donated. That's the story.
We found out that it's not only my brother Bill's birthday, but it's her 6th birthday today. Oh. She got snakes in her hair. So we do that. So we probably ought to do what you normally do on a birthday. Incidentally, this will be attached there, and I've got this. I got it everything, and you're going to do this before you get done here today. So we'll hold that up.
Happy.
All right, so
Okay.
you can have some. All right, go ahead, ladies.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Debbie. Happy birthday to you.
We had light it, but we didn't know how to thank you. How about everybody? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Willie. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
That's better.
Just above the crease. I need somebody to know whether it's straight or not. It's terrible, Tom. How's that? It's terrible. It's terrible? I wonder, I said I only needed 4 of them. I'm sorry, what? Richard?
It's a little crooked, Bill.
Straighten him out here, will you?
Up a couple of inches. Too many people.
There's a level if you want one.
You want a level? All right.
Want a level?
You bring your iPad out. You want a level?
How many railroad guys does it take to put up a flag?
Now, are you a railroad guy too?
No.
No, you're just related. That's
Yeah.
always, I haven't said my birthday.
And we walked around.
Boise.
Are you coming to church tomorrow?
Sure.
Deal.
I'm his chauffeur.
Are you going to drive him back?
Hey, haven't hit his thumb yet.
You can take the car down to California?
No, we're going to Boise.
Yeah, he's going to, I know that.
Then
but
we'll
I
hang
don't-
out until, he becomes like fish, fishing friend.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll send him.
I bet that will take him.
Yeah. Probably tired out. No place like this.
Boise's probably a lot too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Because he's a project manager, I need his approval on this before you sign off on it, sir.
Yeah, you're doing good. Thank you. Hey, you're welcome. Good to see you.
That man I'm crazy about, he don't want me no more. Guess I'll takes me out.